Good. Hello, my name is Ricardo,
I'm Kieran.
and we're going to be telling you our whole process with the whole directing piece, and not directing, the Panto. And yeah, so do you want to go or do you want me to start?
I think. Okay, well, should we start with in terms of strengths as an ensemble? So we can talk about that together.
Yeah,
I think
we were very committed. You were very committed, like with the whole dance number, because you know the dance thing. We have to have Ryan says also you have to have big smiles, and there's lots of energy as well. Like there's lots of movements. There's a lot of doing this and that. Some people are not familiar with doing dances, like we're not, because we just do acting. But thanks to the help of Ella, she kind of like got us into it, and I enjoyed it. I'm not sure. Did you enjoy it?
I enjoyed it, but I struggled very much with it.
Yeah.
So it was fun, but it was also like it was getting frustrating because I couldn't do it properly. I don't move that way.
We another stroke that we all had together was that we had very great ideas. We expanded our ideas and then we put them into the play. For example, the whole sheep background. I think that was Joyce's idea, because she said let's have the sheeps do some inappropriate stuff on there, and we just came up with like so many good ideas, and our director was open for that, and he encouraged us more. Well, he encouraged. I can't speak. He encouraged us to like just tell us anything that's you might like, and it didn't really work out in the end. Should we talk about individual strengths and like how the process went?
Yeah, can do.
As an individual, for me, I believe it went well for myself. I got given the big bad wolf to the main antagonist. It's generally, at first I wasn't really a fan of Panto, because I was like, oh great, I'm breaking the fourth wall. I got to, it was something different to what I normally do acting, where like I have to look at the audience, I can't communicate with them. It just felt a bit odd to me, and I wasn't like too okay with it at first, but then I was able to like enjoy it more. I was able to like find new stuff, and it just became more fun at the end, and I did enjoy it. The lines for the wolf, they were simple really. I didn't really struggle on them. I think the main thing I did struggle on was my pronunciation. There was one part where I couldn't pronounce the word correctly, and it came out English.
What word was that?
It was when I was saying Epsom. Apparently I wasn't saying the P, I kept saying Epsom. No, Epsom, like, okay, so Ryan said to me that the way I said Epsom didn't sound like the normal Epsom. He said I wasn't pronouncing the P.
Oh.
So I said, I was? I had no idea I was, but apparently.
I didn't notice, to be honest.
It was a lie. But I did some tongue and vocal exercises, to like help me like spit out the words properly.
Yeah.
So that was okay. Costume was all fine. They kind of just did that for me. Sets, we worked together on that really. But other than that, I was pretty much okay. Weaknesses I already told you. Pronunciation. Strengths, pretty my imagination, and my commitment to the wolf, because I did a voice for the big bad wolf. Yes, it did strain my voice, but I was willing to do it over and over again, even though it did hurt by the end of the night, but I was fine.
No, yeah, I think you did a good job, yeah.
Thanks. Alright, what about you with your age?
My strengths and weaknesses. My weaknesses was the lines, because I struggled to reply to things. For example, like, if you give me a bulk of text, then I find it 10 times easier to learn that, compared to when it's a constant, someone says something, then I reply, then they say something, then they say something, and then I reply, and it keeps going back and forth and back and forth. I struggle a lot with remembering where each line goes. Even if I do have the intention in my head, it just sort of all fades into one for me. So I struggle very much with the lines for this piece.
But you were able to like get the ones you about the ones in the show, and even if you didn't, we all had each other's back, and we were able to like just go to like not the next scene, but like say the next line, and then you'll just get it straight away.
Yeah.
It's not so much like you didn't know them, it's like there was so much, and you did have a lot of lines. Like you were in every scene, so it's like you're gonna feel bad for you.
Yeah.
So, but I understand though.
No, but there were like, luckily for me, I had like, there were moments where I just forgot the line on the actual show, and someone else would be like, "But surely because of this," and then I'd be like,
I think we did that on the wedding part.
Yeah.
Where he what's it? What part did you say? It was the part where Red Riding Hood approached you, and I could tell you froze. So I just said my next line, and then as soon as I said it, you just carried on, like you continued. I said, "See, he knows it. It's just that tiny part." But it's like the little repetitions, because Luke, my dad, he struggled on that as well, because he said that he knows his lines, but there's so many parts where he repeats the same thing over and over again. It gets confusing, but that's just like,
yeah, it does get confusing, yeah. But strengths, I'd say, are actually the character itself, in terms of how they are. I just see him as like this whingy guy, this whingy average bloke, but then I can also understand why he's whingy, because everything else is like so over the top to him, and he just doesn't understand why. He just sees it as unnecessary. So I like, in terms of the character, I understood the character very well, like in and out. But yeah, no, it was alright. Like it was fun. Pantomime isn't my style. Like I like the darker genres, but I agree with breaking the fourth wall and speaking to the audience is very. As an actor, it's very jarring. You almost don't want to do it, because you're like, no.
You don't want to break that rule, because we've been brought up to like not break the fourth wall and to not look at the audience. And all the times in my shows, I never look at the audience.
Well, neither do
as
I.
soon as we start battle, I'm like, oh look, my mum's here. Oh look, this person's here. Oh, I didn't know they were here this whole time. As soon as I did the wolf scene and I looked at the audience, I was like, okay, I see my mum, I see my friends who I told them not to come because this would be a bad show to watch because they're like young. You know, it feels weird just to look at them and actually, what's the word, like, you know, when you interact with them, that felt weird as well.
No, it did. But I also say that like we've done a very good job of like when there were moments of like, shit, like we normally covered it up fairly well. Like for example, on the first scene when I'm walking on, I could see that Harry was still getting into costume, and I was like, bollocks. So I had to start talking to the audience, but it was like them little moments, like because we all worked together, it's still. Okay, it wasn't exactly on script and it wasn't exactly as we rehearsed, but I was
wondering why as well you were giving out the pitchforks to other people in the audience. I was like, he's never done that before, but it kind of is working. So
I panicked. I was like, what do I do? I was like, I'm just going to ask them if they want to buy pitchforks.
Did you see me panicking when my mic dropped?
Oh, mate, when your mic dropped, I was behind the roster like, oh my god. Behind the roster, behind the...
See, it was the first time I have those mics on, okay? So it felt weird. But I was like, okay, it's cool. But as soon as I fell down to the floor, I got up, I just hear a loud, and I just see my mic on the floor. I'm like, oh no, how do I cover this? Luckily, Harry's helper saved me, and then we just said, okay, let's just try something. And apparently, I covered it up very well, and I stayed in character. But inside my head, I was like, gosh, what do I do? What do I actually do? What do I do? I was panicking. But I saved it, and then I went backstage, and I was like to Rebecca, please put this on properly, because it fell out. It fell out, please. And the knife and fork, do you remember, because that broke as well?
Oh, it did, didn't it?
Yes. My knife and fork kept breaking, and so much stuff went wrong with me in that whole thing, where the fork and the mic, both of that.
But you never broke character, so it worked, and because luckily we were able to interact with the audience, it didn't really...
That's one thing with Panto. You can just, as long as you stay, like, keep the story correct, you can do anything really. Like, you can just change anything, do whatever, but as long as you can stay on the story.
I agree. But I think Panto is one of the easier things to say if it goes wrong. Compared to if that happened during the Crucible, it'd be like, yeah, I know these weren't about that bit.
Yeah, sure. I'll say as a group, one thing that we all struggled on together was probably Blocking we were fine with. I'll probably say we struggled on with lines again, unfortunately. Some people had, I don't know, they just I don't know, they didn't really want to learn them.
Like,
I don't want to say that they didn't want to, but in a way, I kind of want to say they didn't actually want to learn their lines.
I feel like there were many people where I'd know my lines for a scene and I'd have to have spent like the last 3 hours of the night before learning them, just get there, and someone not like only have a small part and not know like the 10 lines I was supposed to learn. I'm thinking to myself, okay,
Surprisingly, you were actually fine. Even Ryan said that the people who can get away with not knowing their lines because they have so much is you, Madaj, and Mary, because you three appear in every scene. Everyone else had no what's it called excuse of learning their lines, and it did upset me because it keeps going on over and over again.
Every year.
I would have thought they would have learned by now. But hopefully they actually learn next term, and we can just stop this whole lines thing. Because I don't want to do another evaluation. I keep saying, guys, it's lines, because it's getting a drag now.
The thing is, I have to learn it by doing the actual rehearsal. So I can't sit there and do it like. I have to have someone reading the other lines. So when it was like, when we were doing read-throughs and stuff and we were all using the script and stuff, okay, I know I'm slowing it down if I'm not holding the script there and then in the first or second rehearsal. And I understand I'm not going to know it in the first or second rehearsal, but at the same time, if I have the script there, I won't learn it. I just won't learn it by reading it. So it was like, but then I get told to use a script because obviously I'm slowing down the rehearsal. I'm like,
I mean, with learning my lines, I mean, like, I'm completely opposite to you. I'll have to do it by myself somewhere alone, or like just not when I'm on stage. I think it was when you were doing the first scene with the bean seller. I was just backstage just looking at my lines, and I just got them on the first page part. I was like, okay, I'm fine. I can't, because like I need to be familiar with the words which I'm saying. I need to know what it means, what I'm actually saying, because like I can't just go on stage and start reading my lines, because number one I'm like, or number two, I can't pronounce the words correctly. For what was the part? It was a wedding scene where I said instead of unisex, I said unsets.
Yeah, I remember.
Oh gosh, it was.
Yeah. that caught me off guard.
But yeah, is there anything else?
You did great.
That's one of our. Someone said we did great.
How was that? It was good.
Yeah.
I did not know at the beginning that you were not meant to talk to us, so you fooled me. Well done.
Well, that's our evaluation of our Panto.
Cheers for watching.
See you later. Damn it, I can't press it.